the very day I upload a video re-review of Fantastic Four First Steps, they go ahead and release the trailer for Avengers Doomsday. So I'm having to literally record this video immediately after. And I'm just reacting to it off the cuff. Firstly, I'll say it's about bloody time. We've been waiting for this for a long time. I'll just give you a few of my thoughts, really. From the very beginning, where we see Professor X reacting to some big explosion, and right to the very end, there are so many shots in this, so many sequences in this trailer that strongly suggest to me that the leak for the plot of this film that came out a few months back, and I talked about again recently, because there's been a couple of very similar leaks that have come out, and the second one with a bit more detail. It looks like the leak is pretty close to accurate, unfortunately. Unfortunately, because from the leak we know that the beginning of the movie starts with Professor X reacting to the destruction of a world, of one of the other universes, one of the other Earths. And according to the leak, the world that's destroyed is destroyed by the X-Men on purpose. Because in the leak, at least, Deadpool and Wolverine have set an explosive to destroy that world. And that is the world of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. We see Doom for the first time, and I think the opening narration is actually, I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's Doom talking. I think it's Robert Downey Jr. speaking. We see the new Avengers HQ. We see the two new Avenger teams, because obviously there's the new Avengers, and then there's the new Avengers that formed in Thunderbolts. So there's the Sam Wilson Avengers, and then there's the Thunderbolts Avengers. We also see Paul Rudd is in there, of course, playing Ant-Man, and we get a shot of them meeting the Fantastic Four along with Thor. And this lines up with the post-credit scene from Thunderbolts. Then we have Thor delivering a long, inspiring speech. We have shots of the Wakandans, Black Panther, and then we have a few fights. We've got Gambit versus Shang-Chi. We get a shot of Cyclops. We see another shot of Doom. And then there is Loki and a card, a TVA card, that he is handing to someone in what looks like the house that Steve Rogers is living in with Peggy in the past. So that lines up with the leak. That lines up with the leak about how Loki goes and tells Steve to contact him, and that he can't stay in that timeline because it's going to get pruned. It's great to finally see the trailer, but what's also awful about it, and what's seriously anticlimactic, is that unfortunately this confirms the leaks. And the plot from those leaks is terrible. I mean, it's just exposition, excuses for crossovers, right? It's just a giant cameo fest. There's a lot of characters. I think there's something like 27 at least. How do you really do all those characters justice? How do you give them all sufficient focus? We see Yelena Belova, the new Black Widow, of course, from Thunderbolts, a character I quite like. And she's fighting the original Mystique, played by Rebecca Romijn, and she takes Yelena's form. So they have a fight. We see Professor X and Magneto together. And yeah, we have some shots then of the Fantastic Four and Anthony Mackie's character, Sam Wilson. Cyclops again, a few fights, and then of course we have a fight then with Thor and Doom. So I mean, look, there is a twist in this film, which is that Doom's the bad guy. Who would have thought? Well, the fact that that's telegraphed from the title, but the characters don't know that for most of the film. At least from the leak, anyway, they seem to be trusting him. And then after Thor's big speech, and I'm really glad that this is serious Thor. This isn't joke Thor that we've had from Ragnarok and Thor Love and Thunder. So we're getting the serious, darker Thor back, which is great. And I think Chris Hemsworth is brilliant at that, bringing the gravitas of the character back. But we see him, and he's shocked to see Steve Rogers return. And Steve is able to hold his hammer. And the critical thing here is that you'll see is that Steve has a beard and longer hair. And the reason why that's critical is that, again, lines up with the leaks. That's the bad news, is that the leaks seem to be confirmed. The reason I say that is because, as we know from the first teaser, we see Steve living his life happily in the past, which was his happy ending from Endgame, okay? And he has no beard, and his hair is shorter. But now he's got a beard and longer hair. Now, why is that? Because the leaks are accurate. Because Loki, who gives him that card in his house, sends him to the universe 828, the universe of the Fantastic Four. That's what the leaks say. And so he lives with Peggy for a good few years there. And that's why he's aged. That's why he's got longer hair and a beard. So that's the bad news. At least we know what we're getting, But unfortunately, unfortunately, this is what this film is. Yeah, and a lot of people were hoping that the leaks were not accurate, but I'm not seeing anything here that suggests that the leaks were fake. That's the problem. So much of this trailer lines up with what we got from the leaks. So that's the first Avengers Doomsday trailer. The first proper one. And we're 4 months to go till the film comes out. Of course, there's going to be more trailers released over the next little while. But yeah, oh well. Oh dear. I mean, the leaks are out there, and I've done a video on it. And I go through it pretty comprehensively. So there's no real story here. It's really just a succession of action plot beats, and then this happened, and then this happened. That's what it feels like. We have to do this because that, and it just goes on and on and on. They're battling incursions. They're battling against a multiverse plot device MacGuffin thing. That's all this really is. Their plan is to go to different universes, according to the leaks, to set up these cannons or something to help stop the incursions, and it's all basically a ruse by Doom, and he defeats them all. He kills them all, resurrects them, and creates Battle World. It's like a really bad Infinity War, and it ends very similarly, with Doom winning, in the same way that Thanos won at the end of Infinity War, and then Secret Wars being the conclusion. Yeah, so I was kind of hoping that maybe... I didn't have high hopes, but I was... maybe that we'd have a surprise. But there's nothing in this that surprises me one little bit. Not one little bit. There you go. Those are my thoughts on the trailer, just real quick. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching. Take care, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.